Hey guys, how are you doing on this Monday? I know it always takes a few moments for people to join live, so we'll wait a few seconds or so. If you are joining live or if you are not, make sure you leave a comment and say hello and tell me something that you are grateful for. It's always great to have a practice of gratefulness. It's one of our traditions. Every night before we go to bed, we always say what we are grateful for. So this is another tradition I have started, and I am in week 3 of Nourishing Morning Routines. So every Monday, I am attempting to do a 5-minute Monday. So it's a 5-minute live video and doing a theme. So this month, April 2017, is all about nourishing morning routines. So to recap, the first 2 weeks we talked about your thoughts, your thought process on life and why Monday typically sucks for yourself or for people in general. And then the following week we talked about nourishing morning beverages or drinks or liquids, and how most people are drinking things that fatigue their adrenals instead of nourish them. And a quick caveat, I am actually releasing an Amazing Adrenals 101 course in a couple of weeks, and it is fantastic. So if you've always, been struggling on the weight loss issue or you can't lose weight, make sure you join me. So this is week 3 of April 2017 of Nourishing Morning Routines, and I want to talk about food. So you might end up in one of 2 categories. You might not eat anything in the morning, or you might be eating things that don't nourish you. So people typically eat, if they do fall in the category of eating something, they typically eat like a bagel or a slice of toast or a donut or a cup of coffee, or I guess they drink a cup of coffee, and it's not nourishing their body. So when 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock hits, their blood sugar spikes and they have that energy crash. So I'm going to give you 3 different nourishing morning ritual breakfast ideas that actually will sustain you throughout the day. One is more on the savory side, and the other 2 are very quick, very simple to make, and they'll actually nourish you. So if you fall into the category of not eating anything, that is not necessarily a bad or wrong thing. I usually work with people who don't eat anything on a one-by-one basis, and so I don't want to give general guidelines if you fall into that category. The majority of people do need something to get going in the morning, but it's not always mandatory across 100% of the population. So I just want to say that. But for the majority of people that are out there listening to me, you probably need a nourishing breakfast instead of nothing and then eating something that's not good for you a couple hours later. So I got my lemon, ginger, and turmeric water here, and it's awesome. I drink it throughout the day. And the first thing that you can make is, just steel cut oats. Make sure they're organic, non-GMO. You can soak them the night before with clean water that doesn't have fluoride in it. And then in the morning, you just have to turn your pan on, hopefully in a non-toxic pan, and you cook it for about 25-ish minutes, more or less, depending on how you like them. And then comes the superfood toppings. Now, one thing that people can kind of get hung up on is when they have oatmeal or steel cut oats, it does have protein, but because it's more on the carbohydrate side, it will actually spike your blood sugar. So you want to make sure that you add protein to it. And so my go-to is hemp hearts. And hemp hearts are amazing, nourishing food for your entire body. Great omegas, protein, magnesium. Let me just read the back of this package. Zinc, magnesium, manganese, iron. So if you're a woman, make sure you get hemp hearts in there in your diet. And protein. Like, it's just an amazing protein source. And they taste a little bit like a cross between sunflower seeds and pine nuts. They really don't have a lot of flavor, but they add such a nutrient-dense powerhouse to your breakfast and, throughout the day ahead. So I highly recommend hemp hearts, adding that into your oatmeal or your steel cut oats. And then just adding, some fresh or frozen organic fruit. So I have frozen red raspberries here. Oh, this is, a good brand, or cherries. And when your oatmeal or steel cut oats are hot and you put frozen fruit into them, they kind of melt and it just has this amazing texture and it's really delicious. And then we want to add another healthy fat. Obviously, hemp hearts have fat, but I like to add a little bit more fat as well because that really can boost your energy throughout the day. So coconut oil is really good. And you can really load it up. You can add, organic sunflower seed butter, which is a good choice. It's, nut allergy friendly for those people who have nut allergies. And then some kind of a superfood adrenal boost. So I really like maca, and I actually make a drink with this. But you can add this to your oatmeal, your superfood, steel cut oats. So that's kind of like my go-to breakfast. And if I don't make that, then I'll make a smoothie. And then you can obviously have the hemp powder. This is like the powder I always recommend. It's super clean. It has hemp protein, organic coconut sugar, organic fair trade cocoa powder, and natural plant extract. You cannot get cleaner than this powder. So this is one of my go-tos after a workout or a smoothie breakfast. And again, you can just, add the same things, add the fruit, add your maca, add coconut oil, add your nut butters or sunflower butters, whatever you need to add, and make a really good smoothie. And then you can also add pure coconut milk too. Make sure it's the full fat. You don't want to get the light, you want to get the full fat because healthy fat is good for you. And then those are the two more sweet breakfasts. And then probiotics are great. So I like to actually just have a heaping tablespoon of probiotic sauerkraut in the morning. And you want to make sure that your sauerkraut is in the refrigerated section. So when you buy sauerkraut, make sure it's in the refrigerated section, not shelf stable, because it has live cultures in it. So you really want to make sure it's good. And this is one of my favorite brands. It's Ozook. And this is the juniper sauerkraut. So delicious. So I try to actually have a tablespoon of this regardless of what I'm having in the morning, just to get those probiotics into my gut first thing in the morning, along with my ACV, apple cider vinegar drink in the morning as well. And those are kind of three quick things. Obviously the sauerkraut, you might want to have a piece of sprouted avocado toast with it. So make sure that your toast, it's bread, but make sure it's sprouted grain, that's organic, and then have avocado on top of it so it has healthy fat. Sprinkle hemp hearts on top of it so you get the protein and you won't spike your blood sugar because it's just, a slice of bread. But that can be a savory breakfast as well, super nourishing. And I think that kind of does it for 3-4 simple, really quick, nourishing breakfast routines for you to try out. And I hope you do. Let me know if you try them. If you have questions in amounts and ingredients and anything else, I'd be super happy to help you. And that is 5-Minute Mondays, and I'm sure I went over 5 minutes, so I do apologize. If you have any questions, Sarah, StanleyInspired.com. And next week, we are going to be talking about movement. So the 4th installment of 5-Minute Mondays and Nourishing Morning Routines. I will see you then. Have a great week, and be grateful for something. Leave it below. Cheers.